Cold day, Florida. Cold for us. I think it's like, got myself in cold as well. I'm going to do a quick engine detail, show you how that works. My engine bay usually stays pretty clean because I wipe it out after every wash, but I have never put anything on the engine, the top, the cover, the motor, and haven't sprayed it out. It's just some dirt and still some of that waxy stuff that they put on the surface for shipping. So I wanted to just sort of spray that off, show you how I do this real quickly. It only takes about 5 minutes. All I do is spray some Griot's engine cleaner. Any all-purpose cleaner is probably fine. Adams, HD, whatever you want to use is probably fine. I was looking, there really isn't, there's the batteries in the rear of the car, so and the alternator's down underneath the motor, so there's nothing exposed that I need to cover. You don't, I'm guessing you probably don't want to just douse the thing in water, but I'm going to spray it down pretty good. I mean, it should be okay. I'm not going to run it afterwards. So all I'll do is I'll use various brushes, just kind of brush it out, I'll show you that in a second, and spray it down with some engine cleaner, then spray it with the, use the brushes and brush it off. And then I'm going to use this. I discovered this years ago. It seems like there's almost, I'll probably have this for the rest of my life, almost like there's some mold or something growing in here. But this is McGuire's Hyper Dressing. I don't know, I stumbled upon this years ago and it works extremely well. I've tried the different, like Adams In and Out, Super VRT, diluting that. I've tried using Griot's. The biggest mistake I ever made was on my S2000, I sprayed Griot has an engine spray stuff, and the engine never looked the same. All it did was attract dirt, and I could never get it off. So I was searching online. This is probably 15 years ago, 15 years ago, and I found this McGuire stuff. I think I have it diluted 8-to-1. It's in this old Speed Shine bottle. But all I do, and I'll show you this, all I do is just, after I just kind of scrub it out real quickly, spray it off, and you just hose it down with this stuff, just spray it down, close the lid, and a day later when it's dry, it looks perfect. Gives you just sort of like that satin sheen, same sort of satin sheen I prefer when I do my tires. You could probably use the Carpo Pearl diluted just the same as this, but I know this stuff works, used it, done it. I do this like once every 2 years, it seems, once every year and a half, and just sort of dial the engine bay in. So I'll show you this real quickly. It's a 5-minute job. If your engine's a mess, it really doesn't take much longer. Just spray it down, do a little bit more scrubbing, spray it down again. It helps if you have a pressure washer, and then spray some of this stuff on there, close the lid, wash the rest of the car, you're good to go. So I'll show you that process here. All right, step one is to spray off, pressure washer set up. Try to blow out as much of the dirt and grime. Engine bay really isn't that bad. That yellow, just kind of shipping that coating of that wax they put on the car for shipping. That's in that there. I'm going to spray it down engine cleaner. Let it sit for a second. Got various wheel cleaning brushes. And on a newer car, you usually don't have a bunch of grease and stuff. It's usually just the jams that kind of get dirty. spray this down a little bit, getting all the different areas. I find they tend to get fingerprints on this, whatever this heat exchanger. So the Meguiar should take care of that. Well, there's the alternator right there. Probably cover that up, but I mean, it's designed to get wet. And water gets up in here when you're driving, so it's just not designed to be submerged in water. Should be good. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute. I'm gonna go get the other hose, so I'll pause this. All right. You could get out a bucket of soap and water, but I'm too lazy to do that right now. Probably shouldn't be out here in the 40 degrees with the cold, washing stuff, but I mainly just want to get the dirt off the surrounding door, the jams, and get the sand and stuff that kind of sits on here. You can't wipe out. I want to be careful, don't scratch the carbon fiber. You really don't need to be crazy about this because Meguiar's hides pretty much everything. It bothers me when you can see all the dirt. Lots of that waxy stuff still in here. It's not really going to come off unless I get really crazy, which I just don't feel like doing today. Shock towers. This is just a Wheel Woolies lug nut brush. Looks good. Just a quick little touch up. That's all we need. Wash this off, and then I'll spray the Meguiars, and we're done. It's that simple. failed to mention is you should probably, I would guess that this engine cleaner probably should take some of the paint or some of the wax off. So you should probably consider doing this. Like I'm going to do a detail here in the next couple of weeks. So I would guess the engine detailer or engine cleaner is going to affect the wax a bit. So I'm going to wash the car too. So do this before you wash. Yeah, this darn, I could sit here for hours cleaning out every little jam. I don't care that much. This white stuff is kind of stained. I'd have to get a clay bar out, but it's not that important to me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, you don't want to. I usually do the engine before I detail it. So a few weeks before, I like to break up my paint correction and other little subtle detailing, like treating the trim and stuff like that, just because you kind of run out of gas. Once you're 20 hours in, who wants to do an engine detail, you know? So I have a tendency to just try to do stuff as I feel like it, rather than trying to do everything all at once. And this is just my car. I'm not doing this for a job. I'm just doing it for fun. So I just try to hit all the areas, and all you do with this Meguiar stuff, you spray it on there and you let it sit. It'll dry up on its own. You might have to, what I usually do is the day after, I'll just go in and wipe it off. You don't want to let the car running. You want this to dry on its own. That's it. That's my version of an engine detail. I've tried much more elaborate plans, much more elaborate ideas, but this, for me, tends to work the best. The Meguiar stuff is the best I found. There you go. So I'll just close it up. Done. I'm gonna wash the car.